Hello, my name is Nick. I'm the supervisor here, and I will be showing you how to complete this operation. I will be using a four-step process here that we've used to teach many other operators how to do these jobs. In this job, we are completing custom lighting for our customers, a 2 blue, then 1 white sequence. I'll be using our four-step process where I will be telling you the steps to the job, then I'll do it again with the steps and the key points, and then I'll do it again with the steps, the key points, and the reasons why. Once I've done that, then I'll have you do the job. In this job, we have our blue lights here in this tote, and our white lights here, our butt splices here, and our 3 tools we need to complete the job. The first step we have here is to get your white light and strip back the coating on both leads. Then I want to take and install a butt splice onto one end and crimp the butt splice. We'll do the same thing on the other lead. Okay, the next step is to grab your blue light and do the same stripping that you did earlier. And now you are going to connect your wires together, your lights together. The next step is to heat the connection to seal it. That completes one operation. Now we'll do it again and tell you the steps and the key points. So here you're going to cut the coating back. Now you want to leave a 1/4 inch of wire exposed and use the 16 gauge cutter. The next step is to grab your butt splice and connect it to the wire. Key point here is to go all the way to one end of the metal connection and crimp, and repeat for the other lead. Okay, now we're going to do our blue wire. Same key point here, we're going to expose a 1/4 inch of wire, use the 16 gauge cutter. Now, the next step is to connect the connections together on the 2 lights. A key point here is to ensure you connect the positive lead on both wires. You're going to connect the 2 gray wires together and crimp. Okay. And then when you connect the negative wires, the 2 white wires together, you're going to connect and crimp. The next step is to heat the connections. You want to heat both ends of the connections until the butt splice coating has shrunk onto the wire completely. You can rotate it around so you get even heat on the wire. I will do it one more time and give you the steps, the key points, and then the reasons why we are doing it. So I will go ahead and start again with my white wire. I'm going to strip a 1/4 inch of wire using my 16 gauge cutter. And the reasons why we do this is to ensure I can get a proper connection that can be sealed. Then I'm going to take my butt splice, install my lead, and crimp one end of the wire, or the butt splice. And the reasons why for this is to allow us to crimp both ends of the splice. So I repeat this again for the other lead. Okay. Now I'll take my blue lights and do the same thing I just did. I'm going to cut and expose a 1/4 inch of wire, use my 16 gauge hole, and the reasons for this is to ensure I can make a proper connection and be able to seal it. My next step is I'm going to connect these two together. I'm going to connect my 2 gray wires, and the key point for this is to ensure I will have a connection that will work and not be hazardous to our customers. And then I'm going to connect my 2 white wires together for the same reason, to ensure that these lights work when they get to our customer and not be hazardous to them. And another step is to give a light tug, and this ensures that it's not going to come apart. And now I'm heating up the connection, heating both ends of the connection until the coating shrinks down onto it. And the key point for this is that these lights some are intended to be used outside, and in order for long-term durability of the system, we need to make sure that all these connections are watertight. So I've completed this job now, and I've showed you the important steps, the key points, and the reasons why for the key points. And now I'll move and have you do the same job, and you can do it and repeat the steps back to me. Now I'd like you to do this operation, John. Do you remember all the key steps? Yes. Alright, go ahead and tell me the key steps as you go through it. I'm going to take the white wire and strip back the coating. And then I'm going to take a butt splice and install it on to the connection and crimp. And repeat on the other lead. I'm going to take my blue wire, strip back the lead, and I'm going to take and connect the 2 leads together. Well, you saw that one fell off, so make sure you take your time on that step and make sure you're crimping the down completely. Now I'm going to take and heat the connections. That makes 1 complete. Now can you do the same thing, but tell me the important steps and the key points? Alright, I'll do that. First step is to cut the wire back, leaving a 1/4 inch, and using the 16 gauge cutter. My next step is to install the butt splice onto my lead. I have to make sure when I crimp this butt splice, I crimp on one end. Okay. Now I'm going to take my blue light and do the same thing. I'm going to cut the wire back a 1/4 inch using the 16 gauge cutter. And I'm going to install my blue light to my white light. The positive wire first. I'm going to connect the gray wire to the gray wire. And then I'm going to connect the white wire to the white wire. Alright. And now I'm going to heat the connection. And the key points here are I'm going to heat both ends of the connection so that the wire, and the key point is the coating should shrink down onto the wire. That's a complete job. Alright, why don't you do that again and tell me the important steps, the key points, and the reasons for the key points. Alright. Step 1 is to cut back the coating on your white light. The key points are cut a 1/4 inch and use the 16 gauge cutter. And the reasons why are to ensure I can get 2 lights that can into the butt splice that can be sealed. Good. Now I'm going to crimp my wires, crimp the butt splice on my wires. The key point is to crimp one end, and the reasons why for this are to ensure I can get 2 wires into the crimp. Ooh, I see we had another issue with this one, so we'll start back over on this cutting back the coating. Now I'm going to take my blue light and cut back the coating again, 1/4 inch, using a 16 gauge cutter. And the reason for this is to ensure I can get a connection between 2 wires and have it sealed. And then my next step is to connect the positive wires. Key points are the gray wire to the gray wire. The key point for this is to ensure that the system will work once it gets delivered to the customer, and it'll be safe for the customer. That's good. And then I'm going to connect the negative wires, which are the two white wires, together. And the same reasons why, so that the system will work when it's delivered to the customer, and it'll be safe for the customer to use. And then my last step will be to heat the connection with a heat gun, heating both ends. And key point is, once you see the coating shrink to the wire, you know it's done. And the reasons for this are to ensure that the system can be used year-round in moist conditions and will last for a long time. Alright, John, it looks like you have a really good handle on this job. I'm going to leave you to this to finish this order. This order is 100 of these units. I'll come back and check on you throughout the day as you're doing this. If you have any questions, please contact the team leader over there. His name is Larry. Thank you.